Welcome back, Orchestra. Today we're going to be looking at number 3.16 on page 25 in your book, G for Me, and 3.17. First, of course, 3.16, I'm going to talk about the cello and what we're going to be playing for this new note, which is on the open G string. So for cellos, you have that A string, right? D, and now one more string behind that. We're going to bring our shoulder back and our wrist back a little bit with your elbow and play on the G string, okay? And you notice that the G string note has a 0 above it on number 3.16, and it's on the very first line in bass clef. So for this exercise, everybody, we're playing that new note, low G. For the violas, it's on that first space of the music staff for alto clef. Then violins, you have it on below the 2 ledger lines underneath in the treble clef. So it's a very low note. For violas, it's also the second lowest string, but for violins, it is the lowest string. All right, so the pitches that we have here are G, G, G half note, G, G, G half note again. Then we get to measure 3, and we have D, D, E, F sharp, G on the D string, and then open G string. Okay, so here is a 3.16 G for me for the cello. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is 3.16 G for me for the viola. Here's that G string, second lowest one. So we're going to raise our shoulder up to match pitch with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now here's 3.16 G for me for the violin. Again, this is the lowest string on the violin. So raise your shoulder up higher. Make sure your bow goes through the C bout for that low string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and so next up we have 3.17 Dark Waters, also on page 25. We're learning another new note, also on the G string that we just learned, and this is going to be a different A, of course, than same thing we did at G. It's going to be first finger on the G string, and that's going to be your A. Now, notice that the placement of that note head, for cellos, it's on the first space. For the violas, it's on the second line. And for violins, it's on the second ledger line below the staff. So you'll notice that we're going just one note up higher on the G string. Now the pitches for number 3.17 Dark Waters are as follows. We're going to have 4 A's, 1, 2, 3, 4, then an open G, then another A, then open D string, low A, and then D string. Now, you'll notice that there's a big bracket above the second note of measure 2, that A, and it holds it all the way across the third measure on that last low A. And we call that a tunnel, right? And so what that means is that you can bow the D string while keeping your first finger on the G string. So you can play without having to lift your finger up. That's just a tunneling technique. So let's take a look at 3.17 on the cello first and what it's supposed to look like and sound like. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now let's look at the viola part for 3.17 Dark Waters. Again, we're going to be on the second lowest string on the first tape for that low A. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, here's the violin part for 3.17 Dark Waters. We're playing again on the lowest string of the violin, and there's our first finger on the first tape or the yellow tape, okay, on the G string. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so make sure for your recordings you're doing both 3.16 G for me and 3.17 Dark Waters. Try this a couple times with me, and also remember that you can practice, of course, all of these a little bit at a time before you do a recording. So don't try to rush yourself through them. Make sure, of course, you're also playing with good posture, your wrist away from the instrument, right? Straight wrists, not pancakes, all right? And that we're also playing with the steady tempo. Okay, so good luck on your recordings, and I can't wait to see them.